So the big question is this: how do you lose all the weight that you want and actually keep it off for the rest of your life, while trying to make sense of all the noise that comes from the weight loss industry? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers.
G'day guys, and welcome to the next episode of the Weight Loss Secrets podcast. My name's Baron Grant and I'm wrapped to be with you for another day, another tip, another trick, another idea of some description that might help you to be able to lose all the weight that you want and keep it off for the rest of your life. And today, it's a short podcast, and I don't normally do long podcasts anyway, because for me it's about a short, sharp bit of information that's going to be able to help you. But today I actually want to talk about somebody that I'm working with at the moment and the journey that they've had, because I think it's information that's forgotten a little bit when it comes to weight loss. I talk to people all day, every day, literally on the hour, every hour. I'm talking to people about their journey and where they're at and how they want to lose weight and changes they need to make to be able to lose weight. And often in those discussions, I ask the question of why. Why do you want to lose weight? A lot of the discussions come back and it's more, I wouldn't say superficial because that sounds harsh, and I don't mean it in that way at all. It can be image based. It can be the way that someone looks and how that makes them feel, which is really hard sometimes to have those discussions because I feel so bad for these people who are not in a good place about not liking the way that they look. But I think sometimes and that is all important, by the way. Everybody wants to look their best and feel their best, and that's super, super important. But those feelings and those thoughts aside, I think something that is misunderstood or not focused on enough is the impact that being a healthy weight will have to the inside of your body. And that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. And the weight is just a metric of health. It's not, it's one metric. You can be 65 kilos and be really unhealthy, as well as being 120 kilos and being really unhealthy. You can't be overweight and healthy. That doesn't happen because the inside of your body is working too hard to make up for what's going on. So what I want to go through is one guy's journey, but the impact of what it had on his body on the inside, because that's the thing, that's the intangible. Like I can show people how they're going to change in their gene size is going to change, and then they're going to know that as they lose weight, they're going to fit into their genes better, or they're going to feel better when they look in the mirror. But I wish I could adequately express to people how they will feel because their body is just working better. The inside of your body is working better when you start eating the right foods. And I mentioned on the last podcast, which was a bit of a rant, about some pills and stuff that doctors give either for weight loss or for blood pressure or for cholesterol, or all these other ridiculous pills, frankly, that are given to help these things. I sort of ranted about how frustrating it was to see that when you start to lose weight and eat healthy, so much of that stuff just fixes completely by itself with no crazy drugs. And before I go through this one guy's journey and metrics and things like that, on the weekend I was at church and I was chatting with a guy and he mentioned to me, he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm a bit shaky today because the medication that I've been given from the doctor, which is to lower his blood sugars, so it's obviously insulin to lower his blood sugars, has made him too low, so he feels a little bit shaky." And I said to him, "Hey, let's have a chat. If you make some changes to your food and drop some weight, you probably won't need those anymore." Now, before anybody comes at me and says you can't tell people to stop taking medication, doctors only prescribe medication for diabetes in most instances when they need to lose weight and they are eating the wrong types of food because the doctor doesn't know what the type of food is they should be eating. So they provide drugs to fix something that will, in most cases, be fixed by food. Okay, so that prompted me to talk about this a little bit more, to having that discussion with him on the weekend. But I want to talk to you about one guy on my program at the moment. His name is Aaron. Aaron lives in Sydney, and he's been working with me for, let me just double check so I don't lie, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. So he's completed 7 weeks of my program, and I want to go through some results because this is just pretty typical, frankly, of results that people get when they eat the right foods. This is not me. I haven't done something miraculous for this guy, but I've helped him to eat the right foods, helping him to know what the right foods are, and that has totally changed what's going on with his weight and with and inside of his body. I want to go through some stuff. First, I want to talk through his weight. Then I want to talk about his blood pressure. I want to talk about his cholesterol and how that's all changed. Because when you go to a doctor and you're overweight, they give you a drug. When you're high on blood pressure, they give you a drug. When you're high on blood sugars, they give you a drug. I could list things, cholesterol, here's another drug, here's a statin, take statins. Oh, don't even talk to me about statins. Those things are horrendous. All those drugs are horrendous. And when you start taking those drugs, then you've got to take other drugs to combat the stupid side effects of those idiot drugs. So none of those drugs are good for our bodies in any way, shape or form. And most of them we don't need. If you eat the right foods and live healthy, you don't need them. I've got to be careful. I can't rant. I don't rant, Baron, just talk sensibly. All right, so this guy, Aaron, in Sydney, he said he's more than happy for me to share this info. He started on the 3rd of the 4th. He was 120.2 kilos. That was his starting weight. Week 1 completed, he's down to 115.5. The next week, 113.5. Then down to 111.5 the next week. The following week, 109.2, then 107.2, 105.1. 7 weeks into the program, he is down 15 kilos, 15.1, but 15 kilos he is down. Yippee, that is awesome. Now this guy's eating plenty of food and he's super active, he's moving, he's loving life. And he actually just sent me a message the other day, he goes, I can't believe how good I feel, Baz, like this is the best thing ever. But he said, he sent me some results from his doctor. So right before he started on the program, literally right before, he had everything checked. Now, his cholesterol was at 7.0. That was his cholesterol reading. His blood pressure before he started was 170 over 110. I'm going to repeat that because that's high. 170 over 110. That's a high blood pressure reading and you're not in safe territory when it's there. His cholesterol now, from 7.0 to 3.0. 7.0 to 3.0. His cholesterol has plummeted. Absolutely plummeted. Not even in a dangerous range in any way, shape or form. It's in a great range now. Feeling healthy. His doctor can't believe it. He's like, what the hell? Right? And then his blood pressure has gone from 170 over 110 to 120 over 85. Right. So what am I saying? I'm saying that when you eat the right foods, so much fixes in your body. Your blood pressure fixes up almost every time. And now there are some genetic issues that people have. I'm not talking about that, but that's a small percentage. If somebody's heavily overweight and they've got high blood pressure issues, then when they reduce weight, it will improve that. Okay, so that's a really important point. Now, when blood sugars are higher, when you start eating the right foods, blood sugars will decrease, lessening your chances of type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle choice. It's a lifestyle series of choices. It's not one choice, but it's a series of choices. When you eat the right foods, it fixes that in most cases. And so blood pressure is down and cholesterol is one of my favorites, right? Cholesterol has plummeted and I see this with clients all the time. Here's just one example. All the time, as soon as you start eating the right foods, your cholesterol will drop. If you've got issues with your cholesterol, the first thing you should do is change your food. If you've gone to the doctor and the doctor says, here's a pill for your cholesterol, you've got to take this statin, have a look at all the side effects and see how bad those things are for you, and then go, maybe I can change my food. Change your food first before you would think about taking statins, right? Because they are no good for our bodies and food will fix it in most cases. So and fix it fast. We're talking 7 weeks, this guy, his cholesterol's plummeted, his blood pressure has plummeted, and his weight has plummeted. He's living his best life because he can move better and everything in his body is working so much better. So the difference that you will feel is immense when you start to make changes to the food that you put in your mouth. And those things are hard to explain to people because they've maybe lived with weight for a long period of time and they feel like, it is just normal to feel out of breath when you're walking upstairs, or it's normal to feel tired and lethargic all the time. It's not. That's not normal. That's not right. If you get the right fuel in, you'll stop feeling that, tiredness and lethargic all the time. Everyone still gets tired, right? When you work really hard and do your stuff. But that constant lethargy will go away when you're eating good fuel. We put good fuel into our bodies will perform at a much, much higher rate. So my thought to go away with today is I want you to think about the other stuff, all that other stuff that's going to change in your body when you start eating the right foods. That's why it can't be a gimmicky, quick fix, nonsense sort of, thing that you take to lose the weight. Change the food, eat the really good stuff. I've mentioned it on lots of other videos. You can do it by yourself. There's people, friends of mine who actually say, when's your next podcast coming out, Baron? Because I've been crazy busy with work, so I haven't done as many podcasts just recently. Now they're not doing my program, but they're losing they're losing weight. They're losing weight because they're doing the principles that are outlined on all these videos or on these podcasts. So jump in, make some changes to what you're doing right now. If you need some help, jump on ditchingthediet.com and you can book a call with me and I'll help you on the journey. But let's demystify it. We don't need drugs. We don't need all that stuff from doctors. What we need is good food, good nutrition. That'll help your heart. It'll help your cholesterol. It'll help everything in your body, not just your weight. Yep, you look better in the mirror and feel more comfortable with yourself. But it's about how things go on inside your body as well. And food can be your best medicine to fix that stuff. Have an awesome day. Talk soon.